in recent years have been a kind of movement of highlighting some of the hypocrisy, sort of highlighting the racism, the fact that many of the founding fathers were slave owners, that kind of thing, sort of highlighting from the current ethics of our world, showing that many of the people involved in the war on each side were evil. What do you think about that perspective on history?
I think it's super valuable. I think we should expose the gap between ideals and practice. But that doesn't mean we should throw away the great people who were also hypocrites, because everyone I've studied is a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. I think I'm a pretty good father. Luckily, my son is an even better mother. But there are parts of me there. I mean, I often find myself telling our children to do things that I didn't do, right?
Yeah.
But they're smart and they recognize that and they learn something from that. So let's not cover over the hypocrisy, but let's not throw people away for being hypocritical. Here's my view of Thomas Jefferson, which is similar to my view of Abraham Lincoln, right? These are incredibly insightful, thoughtful people who added so much to our country, but they also created flawed systems. And one of Jefferson's flaws was, even though he saw all the evils of slavery, he was a terrible farmer and he could not imagine living the lifestyle he lived without slaves. He could never work his way out of that. But that doesn't make the Declaration of Independence less valuable. In fact, it makes it more valuable. There's more that we can learn from that.
And to me, on the hypocrisy side, many of the people that participate in cancel culture and these kinds of movements that call everything as racist and so on, sometimes they're highlighting properly the evils in our current society. But the hypocrisy they have is not realizing if they were placed in Germany in the 40s, if they were placed in a position of being a white Christian during slavery at the founding of this country, they would do the same thing. They would do the evils they're now criticizing, most of them. So that it takes a truly heroic human to think outside, to be aware of all the evils going on outside, around you, and take action. It's easy now on Twitter to call people as racist. What's hard is to see the racism when you're living in it and your well-being is funded by it.
Yep. I think that's right. I think to analyze ourselves and look honestly in the mirror is very hard. I also think, I make this point in actually all of my books, the real, and it's an Elie Wiesel point, that a lot of the evil in our world is the evil of silence and just looking away. And one form of that on Twitter is just hitting like. Yeah, it's a cheap way of pretending you're doing something that's important, right? After the Civil War, there's all sorts of bad stuff that happens. I talk about it a lot. There always are people there who could stop it. Most people are not responsible for the bad activities, but most don't do something to stop it. And when I say do something, I mean really do something.
Yeah, really. And it's also to push back on the pushback. Silence on Twitter is not what Elie Wiesel was talking about.
Right.
So sometimes silence on Twitter is the courageous action, because you wait and think and learn and have patience to truly understand the situation before you take actual action, not participate in the outrage crowds on Twitter, the hysteria of cancellation. What's hard to do is to speak up when everybody else is silent.
Right.
That's what's hard to do.
Right. And to speak up against those who you thought were on your side.
Yes, exactly. Good luck to those on the left who speak up against the left. And the same, good luck to those on the right who speak up against the right. It's a lonely place. It's a painful place. That's why walking in the center is tough. You get attacked by both sides.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful, wonderful journey.
And you know what's interesting to me, and what I learned writing this book. Every book is a journey. What I learned in the laboratory of this book, right, was a lot of those figures who do stand up. Even in their own lifetime, they don't get the accolades they deserve, but they make a difference. And that's maybe not enough comfort because you want to see benefits in your own lifetime. But I think it really matters. And many of the figures I talk about were not even well known in their time. So you can make a difference. You do impart something small in the universe that can grow into something better. And we shouldn't forget that.
Yeah, that's why I admire Boxer, the horse. I will work harder, even if he gets sent to the slaughter by the evil pigs.
You're on Orwell today. I love it.
I'm on recently. I mean, it's Animal Farm is one of my favorite books. I just am rereading 1984 now. It's been politicized, that book in general.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a love story.
It is a love story.
That there's love is it's a story of an oppressive government and surveillance state and the nature of truth being manipulated by wartime, so on. But the beacon of hope in the human heart that pulls you out, that wakes you up in a world like that, is a love of another human being.
It's transcendence. I totally agree. My understanding, you would know better than I would, is that it's now a best-selling book in Russia again.
1984?
Yeah, it's actually being downloaded more. There was a piece on NPR. I heard about this, actually.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's because they're looking for love.
That's what I was just going to say. Hopefully not in all the wrong places.
Hey, there's no such thing as the wrong places. But that's my opinion. I'm the one that showed up naked and drunk to your classroom.
I'm still surprised that was you.
I was wearing a wig. I'm sorry.